Good day, YouTube, and I hope you're all doing very well. Thank you to the new subscribers and welcome aboard. But listen, guys, I don't know about you, but I am of the same feeling. My blood is boiling. So, after all the incidents and all the trouble we've had, even after the man with the dog, right? Now, this gentleman on the train, don't want to say too much about the situation, but he's a Mr. Smith and he's a British bloke, yeah, all right. Okay, but we'll see what comes out about that. There's a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot more to come out, but they're doing their usual. The politicians, we've had Rupert Lowe write a letter, but a letter's not good enough, as I've said. Then we've had Reform. They've done a thing about, you know, a budget. But then you've got this here. Now, this is what they're indoctrinating our children with, okay? Now, you'll see on one side about the right wing. Look at UKIP and Reform up there, okay? And then look at their left. And they're teaching our kids, indoctrinating our children in schools in this country, okay? That's how bad it is. So it wouldn't surprise me. They'll do a year or two of that running up to the election, and then they'll lower the voting age to 3. This is how they're working. They're importing these maniac dudes that we do not want and not welcome in this place, okay, on a daily for votes. It's all about the votes, okay? But what we've got to do, and I can't stress this enough, yes, they're cowed us. Yes, they've made everything illegal to speak about, but we have got a freedom of speech, and we've got a freedom of expression, and we've also got the right to self-preservation, and I will not stop with that, okay? I don't care. I'm not scared of jail for sticking up for us or standing my ground, and that's how you've got to get on that mindset, guys, right? I'm not super fit. I'm an old git, right? But you know what? I'm in prep, getting match fit, gentlemen. Now, as I say about communities, there's nothing wrong with neighbourhood watches, right? You get together and hook up with local minded people, and the best form of comms, you get people that are saying, oh, what's that? This is compromise, hence you've got to watch what you say. But you've got to read between the lines, people, right? Okay, once you start getting the group up and know people and know the cut of their cloth and know exactly what's what, right? There's no better comms than meeting in person and having a walk and a talk, you know, and discussing your interests, your book club interests, you know, all sorts of things. And then there's nothing to say once we get these communities established. One community can't meet another said community from such a place, you know. That's what we've got to do. We've got to be organised. With men, I never thought I'd do. I thought, well, you know, going past 50, giving all, in my generation, we're giving all that a swerve. But now I find myself mid-50s and I'm trying to get match fit. I ache, I creak, but you know what? We may have a mission, and it's more than likely that we will do. Because, for example, on that train, there has been couple of stories that have been leaked out, one by the mainstream media, of course, but they like to do that. But there were brave individuals, men that went no and put themselves forth and try to take off that scumbag, take him on, okay? Where we've got to get it to a stage where there's loads of men on that thingy and they're game for it and they're fit and they're ready for it, right? Yes, it may be the last foray, but you know what? It's better than the women and children. Okay, men, we cannot be in your phones. You cannot be distracted by everything. Now, as you say, and some of you are saying, let's get out and do this. Who are we, guys? We'll get stamped on. We're little ants. All I am is someone that's trying to motivate, not the troops, but motivate the community. And you guys have got to use your noddle amongst like-minded people, veterans, if you can get hold of them. They're very clued up people. And so if that happens again, you could do something. We've got to do this now. We've got to be the man. We've got to be the men that are saying no. They talk about everyone else's community. They give money to everyone else's community. We've got a community. We should be reinstating our community, right? And we are saying enough is enough. It's not fucking happening on our shift. End off. Okay, now they can threaten us with this and they can threaten us with that, but they can't do anything if we're starting up a neighbourhood watch, right? So you're in your neighbourhood and there's one or two of these HMOs. Do you know what? Keep an eye on them. If they say it's against the law to gather outside because they've brought in all these draconian laws, okay, what's to stop you all arranging that you continuously someone's walking by? And if you see something that's not right, you tell everyone in your community, give it a swerve, and then notify the authorities like they'll do anything. But you know what? Make it life as difficult for these scumbags as possible. But do not play into our main enemy's hands, right? And that is this government. Okay, I'm not preaching hate, I'm not thinking, I'm stating facts. We got, and this is the good thing that I can see out of this coming, guys, right? We've got certain British Army regiments that are being moved out of their barracks and they're not happy that they're being deployed abroad while undocumented men are being moved into their accommodation. They are not happy because it's their women and children that are about, and they've got to think long and hard on this. Also, there's been a couple of alliances, you know, our military alliances, superpowers, diplomats, they've been saying a few things. Now, if this government, and I will tell you this now, right, this goddamn budget that's coming up, all it's going to do is take the money off the elderly, off us, okay, but it's going to be a financial disaster, and this country's heading that way. And with a financial disaster, there will come a snap election. It will bring them down. But we need the people on the top tables to start screaming and shouting, and we've all got to be match fit and ready to partake in that game. You know, I don't know what game it is. As I say, I'm not inciting anything. But do you want to be sat there and be that man that's been caught out and couldn't do nothing? Or are you going to be that man that's going to run and hide? Or are you going to be that geezer that's going to turn around to the next blokes and say, all right, let's have it? You know what I mean? Not because we want it or we're looking for it, but we will not be sat anywhere and we will not be witnessing any of our kin being bloody set upon, raped, essayed, or any of that. All them shenanigans, all that's finished. End off. Okay, guys? They've had enough protection. Their votes mean more than us. And that's what you've got to remember. So we've got to keep calm. We've got to keep calculated. Use our smarts and think of the communities. Okay? Because them communities will get bigger. And organically, they will grow. And that's when they'll have to start taking notice of us. But you can't go too militant. And you can't be doing this. But I'm telling you all now, get prepped. We all have to, right? And it is going to be us silly old boys that are going to might have to do something, because our younger men, by God, they've been feminised. You know, they've got no backbone or grit. You've got to take a leak out of those geezers on the carriages, God rest them, you know, bless their souls, brave men that are struggling, and God hope they pull through, okay? But one or two of them, I know of two stories. They picked up things and they got stuck in. All right, and that's the way it's got to be. And those scumbags, if they want to think about it, they've got to think at the bottom of the mind. They ain't got easy targets sat there and picking them off, and kids screaming and women in terror. Okay, they're going to could have a possibility of 3 or 4 geezers are going to stand up and go, no, 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 not on our watch, pal. Have some back. And that's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But as I say, everyone, all keep calm, all keep calculated. Use your smarts. Get your community groups. Start speaking. Get your comms up. Right? I say WhatsApp groups, yes, because that is the most obvious one. But that would be compromised. It's up to you to organise that. And then when the communities get bigger, right, we can start making it a national thing where we can keep in contact with each other and get organised, okay? And if anyone's got any ideas or have established something and given any examples, my emails are the top. But this ain't about this or that. This is about a government that is blatantly ripping us off. Fact. You'd have to be blind and stupid not to see it, okay? They're covering everything up. Left, right and centre, whatever it is, it's getting covered up to suit their narrative. And as I said, as you can see on this chart, right, you can see how they're portraying UKIP and all these parties as extreme right wing maniacs. And that is what we're not, okay? But this is their plan and their ploy to be in power forever and have us as slaves. You let me know what you think. Please subscribe and a thumbs up, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye. God bless.